I'm here with designer and author Candie Cooper. Candie, today is all about the beads, and you have a great necklace to show us.
Thank you. I'm so jazzed about this necklace because you can buy the beads as is on the rack, pre-mixed like this, string them on some heavy-duty wire, and you've got a focal piece in minutes. I'm going to show you how.
Let's see.
All right, so I've gone ahead and pre-strung my beads on 18-gauge wire.
So you want to choose some beads that have larger holes.
That's right, and these generally do, but you definitely want to, I mean, obviously you'll find out either way, but you want to kind of check it out before you choose your wire. You could use 20-gauge wire too, but it's just not as rigid, you know? So I'm just finishing one end of the wire with a wrapped loop, and you know how I'm always trying to bring you over to the messy loop side of jewelry making.
I know, I'm getting there, I'm getting there.
Super
I like
easy.
the color of this wire too, and how you can coordinate it with your beads.
Me too, and this, you know, wire comes in pretty much all the colors in the rainbow now, so you can find something to suit, you know, your style or, you know, whoever you're making this piece for. The next thing I'm gonna do is finish the end with a wrapped loop, but before I do, I'm gonna leave about a finger width of space. And that is because when you go back through to wire wrap each piece, you need a little bit of room for that wire to sit in between. I'm going to show you in a minute. It'll make more sense.
Sure.
So we're just going to finish this in another messy wrapped loop.
And usually when we're doing wire wrapping, a lot of times we ask people to cut the wire off the spool, but you're working with it still attached.
Right. And so I just slide the bead up next to my wrapped loop, and I make a couple wraps. And I try to make like 2 wraps per piece. Normally, I would be working with this up against my chest, but since I'm
Since you're demonstrating?
yeah, this is like crazy. But you want to get a good amount of wire. I'll let you manage that over there. Thanks.
So instead of using spacer beads, you're really using the wire as the metallic accent.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because you know how I feel about spacer beads, like no spacer bead left behind. But you can see how that's eating up my space, you know, pretty fast. So that's why you need to leave that finger width of wire in the beginning.
Right.
But this is like a, you know, just a,
super
we're just
quick.
whipping it around, and this will be the front, you know, focal element of your necklace. And you can, I mean, the more you make these, you get more ideas. So voila, trim your wire, and we're good to go. So now we have this piece like this, and I've gone ahead and I'm gonna set this one off. I've gone ahead and had this one that has some silver elements in the beads.
themselves. Yeah, that looks really pretty.
Right, and so now I'm going to add a second layer of wire wrapping, which just, you know, layering.
Definitely.
You could leave it like this, no big deal, but this is a cool special pre-twisted wire, so it kind of jazzes it up even more.
Well, and I like the idea of combining the color that matches the beads and then coming back through with the metallic that matches your chain.
Right, and you can wrap in opposite directions that you did before and create kind of a little encasement of your beads and cross the wires if you want.
Yeah.
Cross the streams.
Right.
My little Ghostbusters reference. Anyway, so you can keep wrapping all the way around, and I'm going to show you why this twisted wire is super awesome, because when we get to attaching it to the chain.
Okay.
Almost there. And then trim the wire, and for that I'm using 18 gauge too, but it comes in 20 gauge or couple other gauges. But then you're going to want to kind of reform it a little bit so it has that nice curve.
That looks good.
Yeah. And then if you look at my chain from a design element, this has a twisted link touch to it, so it looks good with the wire, don't you think?
Definitely, so you can bring it in.
And then I'm going to just use my pliers and open a link. And I could use a jump ring too, but I like these strong links. It goes with the thickness of the wire.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the advantages of using unsoldered chain too, is that you don't have to use the jump ring there.
I totally agree. And then we'll just
attach to the other side.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, this is such a fast and jazzy piece to make.
It sure is really quick. This would make a great last minute gift.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah. And, you know, the chain comes in all different colors and metals and everything too, which I love.
Yeah, so you can make it all coordinate.
Right, and then I'm just going to use a delicate little box clasp with some sparkles. I like how it kind of matches these beads.
Sure does.
So for that, I'm going to use some tinier jump rings.
Okay.
And
one whole necklace, start to finish.
I'm saying.
Why not?
It's impressive, right?
Yes, and it's, you know what? Anytime you can show off your favorite beads too, and a little bit of wire wrapping and chain, it's good with me.
And I am hooked on these beads right now, these big focal. And I like the contrast that they have, the sparkly with like that clay looking bead.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I like it.
So what about if you want to bring some fibers into this?
Okay, so here is on this teal piece, like I actually made just a little link with some ribbon.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and then I incorporated that twisted wire. So how I did that, I'm just gonna show you on this little purple one. This is the recycled sari silk.
So pretty.
You could cut up a shirt or tie or whatever you know.
Oh, that's a great idea for recycling.
Right, and make some ribbon from whatever you have. And then attach your link or your link of chain or whatever. I'm just using a brass link.
Okay.
And then you can, let me get a little space here to work. And then you can tie it in a knot, or you can just kind of fold it over and get it that squishy look. And then you're gonna just bring your twisted wire in.
Mm-hmm.
And
You're
just,
using 20 gauge, but you could use any gauge really for this.
you could. And then you're just gonna, I'm leaving this kind of rustic. It kind of goes with my frayed ribbon, no?
Sure does.
I like rustic. Here's my dark side again, Katie.
Here it comes. I think that too, the way that you chose purple with green, it really picks up the aurora borealis on those green beads. I mean, you can really see the rainbow, and I just like their color choice too.
Yeah, thank you. This was a hard choice because I was like, is it brown? Is it purple? You know.
It looks good with the purple.
Thanks. And then you just want to kind of give this a little smush to make sure it's in there. And if you were really nervous, you could tuck some glue, you know, precision tip glue applicator up in there, but let's take a peek at it.
Sure.
Yeah, there. So now from here you could attach chain or more ribbon or whatever and just keep wire wrapping your connections, or it's like endless, right?
Yeah, it makes a great focal element. Let's take a look at the turquoise one again.
Okay, so yeah, like, and I thought that this twisted gold wire really matched like the clay beads too,
Definitely.
you know, with that kind of aesthetic.
And what about the fuchsia? I love the way you tied a little bit at the side.
Oh yeah, that was just, that one wasn't wire wrapped at all, it was just knotted, and then I used my fingers to fray it up a little bit.
Good idea.
Rustic.
And the topaz one is really pretty too.
Thank you.